What if I told you that there is a skill that will help you make more money and help you reach your greatest potential? Not only that, you don't have to go to school to get it, and you don't need outside approval that you have it. This skill exists, no matter what your ideal future looks like. If you have it, not only will you succeed, you will emulate success. Good morning, good life. Welcome back to AmyTV, where we come together to help you go after the life that you want. You know, as I continue to get older and wiser, it's amazing how much I've learned about things not always being as they seem. The more you unpack that and you think about all the things that you want to achieve and see what really is the case, these things start to feel a little bit more achievable. A lot more achievable, in my opinion, actually. I believe there's a very important skill that is significantly overlooked by many if you want to succeed in going after the life that you want. As long as you are open-minded, ready for a challenge, and prepared to be one of the most valuable people not only to work with, but to know at all, this skill is going to be your best friend. We live in a beautiful time. I am uploading this video. It is about to be the year 2020. Do you remember when we were just talking about 2020? Like, oh my gosh, it's like we just thought flying cars and all that crazy stuff, right? Okay, we kind of have flying cars. They're just airplanes, and you could argue that they're really messing with climate change. But besides that, we also have the most access to information that we've ever had. It's fascinating because not only do we have this insane access to information and the ability to do so much with the click of a button, not just on our phone, but our laptops and our TVs have way more buttons than they used to. I mean, it's incredible. With that increase has also come another increase that just blows my mind. Because we're so reliant on these things, maybe, I do think that's part of the reason. We also have gotten significantly more lazy, which I don't get. Because it's like, boom, anything you want, you can find out right now. That is why I believe that the skill that will help you be successful at pretty much anything, if you really, really care enough and you do what it takes, is resourcefulness. According to the Oxford Dictionary, resourcefulness means the ability to find quick and clever ways to overcome difficulties. Life is full of those, don't you think? We see them all the time. We hear about them all the time. When you think about the people who just simply continue to present the difficulties, the barriers to entry, the issues, the problems, the buts. You know how they say okay, yes, but. Okay, not yes, but yes, and first of all, you know what I'm talking about. Those people that are constantly delivering the bad news all the time. They think sometimes they're being helpful, but in fact, they are being average at best. Sometimes we don't fully think of it that way. Sometimes we really do have to analyze problems, but when we do, we need to be in a mindset that's a little bit more helpful. When you put somebody that maybe you're used to hearing all the time, usually sort of just presenting a tone of these are the issues that we have to deal with, these are the problems, or just railroading on the problems. When you put that person next to someone else who is also bringing to the table, if not just problems, they probably have to talk about problems too. They're also bringing to the table ideas, some of the challenges we might see and how we might overcome them, potential next steps, and most importantly, the solutions. Solutions, my God. The people who are doing this, the people who are at least bringing the balance, the opportunity to the table, they're therefore extraordinary. Let me clarify. Extraordinary. You could have literally Googled something and offered it up as an option, and you have become extraordinary. Why wouldn't you pick that route? I don't know. We have so much access to information. Those of us who are willing to use it to problem solve are now becoming this anomaly. In a world where you don't have to go to school to get the perfect degree to do all these things, you could potentially go down a different road for yourself. Let's say if you're not cut out for that kind of thing, or if you are cut out for that kind of thing, and you realize that just having the degree is not enough. You have to do more to stand out. When you have resourcefulness on your side, it is the thing that is going to take you further, faster, stronger than everyone else. And it's not about competition. It's just about getting what you want. You can't rest on what you think all the boxes to check are. There's always more. There's always more. But why still is that an anomaly? And it's just because of mindset. Those who are trained to complain stay the same. And that is not something that I want for you. And that's what resourcefulness directly combats. Because instead of staying the same, you see options, you see actions. Because of being trained to do things a certain way, it's always been like this. This is how we do it. My family doesn't think big. I'm programmed to only be able to go this far. You completely change that. When you directly respond to the needs of not just yourself, but others quickly and eagerly to present what the next possible steps are, what's possible, you will simply rise above the rest. I know this because it's endless. The opportunity to know more, to be more, to try more, to execute more is endless. The more you look for resources and you use them and you take action on them, the more you're going to progress. Doesn't matter if you're like, wow, totally rerouting my plan. Great. Whatever you discover is going to take you further. And that's because you can't learn anything really until you've done something about it. When you act on an action, especially if it's well within your right and or you are saving someone else time, you are instantly more valued, period. It's just such a bummer. And it's also so exciting at the same time, because those of us who get it and will rise above and will go the extra mile sometimes literally means that they will just try to figure something else out on their own before they bring in too many parties to weigh in and offload the responsibility. That has become so exciting in comparison to the fact that we all know we have access to a lot of things. We all know we could find it out if we want to. We all know too much, so we don't do anything. And that laziness, therefore, takes precedence over the opportunity of more. Here's an easy example. Let's say you tweet your favorite person a question that you could have Googled. It's really cool. You wanted to hear it from that person, but it just makes you look like you have a lack of resourcefulness, or that somehow you got access to Twitter and not Google, which does not add up. Totally different situation if you're like, oh, what? I wonder what the answer to this is. I'm gonna find out, and then I'm gonna look at that answer, really analyze it, and think, what would that person think about this? Now ask their opinion about that. You know, I did some research and this says this. Do you agree with that? Or do you strongly disagree? You know, pick one, make it real easy on them, right? Getting their opinion is a completely different thing than saying, so how do I do this? How do you do something? First of all, super great you want to know how, but really, like how to is probably the most searched thing on YouTube and Google in the history of the world, okay? Other than Justin Bieber. Another example would be telling your boss why you can't do your job. Now, if your job is slowly not existing anymore, maybe because it's the changing of the times or there's some other factor involved and it's quite literally that you can't do your job anymore, then that might be an interesting issue ahead of you. I present the opportunity of maybe offering up some solutions for that if you could be resourceful to find them, but that's not really what I mean. If it's a lack of patience because at the end of this conversation that you're going to have, you still have to do your job. Why are we having this conversation? Is it to make something more efficient? Is it to find out something that you truly cannot find out on your own? Or are you, by having this conversation, letting somebody know that you would like to offload the responsibility of finding out and that you don't think it is your responsibility? If you thought it was your responsibility, you would have done it. It would have just gotten figured out. It's not that you shouldn't feel you can talk to people when you think you need help. It's just, what kind of help are you asking for? Because you need to prove your worth, and you also want to be so valued that you go nowhere. At the end of the day, please pick up this skill. Be resourceful. It is absolutely going to help you find your way out of anything bad, and it's also going to set you up to be at the top of the top, even when you're in the midst of something that's pretty good. You have nowhere to go but up when you are resourceful. All right, that is the skill that's going to set you up for success for almost anything that you want to achieve. Question of the day. Remember the last time you were a little bit more resourceful than maybe usual? How did you feel when it was all said and done, and the role that you played in it? Share that in the comments below. That's all for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. As always, make sure you subscribe for good vibes, kiss the ones you love, and go after the life that you want. Cheers. Hey, are you struggling to find time for the things you love? Feel like you're constantly on the go, but taking care of everyone else first? You are not alone, and you deserve so much more. Not only are you capable of taking on this challenge, you already have all the tools it takes to make it happen. That resourcefulness is all you need to get activated by your new daily mantra. Good morning, good life. It's my new book, and it launches on Amazon on December 10th. More details at goodmorninggoodlife.com. How do I turn on the do not disturb? Oh, gotta turn the heat off now. Super duper. Yeah. Yep, nailed it. The coffee machine is making sounds. Sweater weather. Sweater weather. Sweater weather.